The recent shelling around the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant has scared the world. The strikes that can possibly lead to a catastrophe reminds everyone of the 1986 Chernobyl tragedy. The experts suggest that any harm to this nuclear plant could lead to much worse consequences. While the world worries about a nuclear disaster, Ukraine and Russia have been busy trading charges. Both the neighbors have been accusing each other of striking the plant, calling for new sanctions. Kiev has accused Moscow of blackmailing the world with its actions at Europe's largest nuclear plant.
Russia does not stop its blackmail actions at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant and around it. Provocative shelling of the nuclear plant's territory continues. Under the cover of the station, the occupiers are shelling the nearby towns and communities. If a terrorist state allows itself to completely ignore the demands of the international community, and even more so on such a sensitive topic, then this clearly indicates the need for immediate action.
However, the Russia-installed officials near the site claim that about 25 heavy artillery strikes from the US-made M777 howitzers had hit near the nuclear plant and the surrounding residential areas on Monday. Russia further rubbish accusations of planning to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine, adding that there was no need for a nuclear attack.
На этом фоне в средствах массовой информации распространяются домыслы о якобы готовящемся применении в ходе специальной военной операции российского тактического ядерного оружия, либо о готовности применить химическое оружие. Все эти информационные вбросы являются абсолютной ложью.
The battle around a nuclear power plant has raised alarm. The United Nations and its nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, have warned the world that batting for the fight around Zaporizhzhia should stop. The IAEA has further sought access to nuclear plant to assess the situation, a request which was earlier accepted by Moscow. However, it later said that it would be too dangerous for any kind of IAEA mission to travel through the capital Kiev to inspect the plant. Amid the fears of a nuclear disaster, the UN chief Antonio Guterres will meet the leaders of Ukraine and Turkey this week, as Kiev reported an unprecedented cyber attack on its nuclear energy agency's website.
At the invitation of President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, the Secretary General will be in Lviv on Thursday to attend a trilateral meeting with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey and the Ukrainian leader.
Ukraine's nuclear operator has now said that Tuesday's attack was the most powerful cyber attack against a website since the start of the Russian invasion and conducted from Russian territory. The nuke operator further said that the Russian Popular Cyber Army Group used more than 7 million internet bots to attack the website for 3 hours. However, the assault did not have a considerable impact on the work of the website. Ukraine remains deeply scarred by the 1986 Chernobyl nuclear catastrophe that occurred after a Soviet-era reactor exploded and streamed radiation into the atmosphere in the country's north. The attacks on the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in southern Ukraine and its takeover by Russian troops brings dark echoes from the past for those with close links to Chernobyl. And for more on this, we are now being joined by Dr. Tilman Ruff, the co-president of International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War. He joins us now from Tasmania. My first question to you, Dr. Ruff, the experts are suggesting that any harm to this controversial plant, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, the largest in Europe, could lead to much worse consequences. What's your assessment of the situation?
Yes, we're really in uncharted territory here. There has never before been a major war in a country with a number of operating nuclear power plants. The Zaporizhzhia power plant is the largest nuclear power plant in Europe. It has 6 1 gigawatt reactors, and they are essentially, in this context, huge pre-positioned potential radiological weapons. If the cooling and the power supply, which the reactors constantly require, as well as the water pools where the hot and intensely radioactive spent fuel is stored, if the cooling water and the power to those is disrupted even more than a few minutes, then the potential for meltdown and catastrophic release of radioactivity is very real. That could happen by direct military attack. Right. It could happen via disruption of the water supply and the power. It could happen via a cyber attack. It could happen via a missile that goes to the wrong target. There are many possibilities in the chaos of the conflict. So this is really a very profoundly dangerous situation.
Absolutely. You're saying it's a profoundly dangerous situation and the world is concerned about this. Let's talk about the stakeholders, the primary stakeholders, Russia and Ukraine. Now, calling for new sanctions, Kiev is now accusing Moscow of blackmailing the world with its actions at Europe's largest nuclear plant. But is this trading of charges going to help the situation in any which way? What is the need of the hour as of now?
Well, the most urgent thing is not to establish, which is extremely difficult for the international community to establish who, amid claim and counterclaim, who exactly is doing what in terms of military attacks in and around the plant. But it's clear that Russian forces are occupying the plant, are directing fire from the plant, that the plant has been damaged by shelling, that the Ukrainian staff there are under extreme duress, fairly reliable reports that they've been mistreated and some tortured, working under extremely difficult circumstances. So the most important thing in the immediate period to prevent this disaster escalating uncontrollably is for the reactors to be declared a demilitarized zone, so that there is no direct military conflict, stationing of forces or ordnance in the site. Such a call has been made by a number of organisations, including my own. That has been rejected so far, but that's really the most important action that could be taken to wind back these risks. Of course, access by the IAEA is important, and also the infrastructure around the plant, the security of water supply and of power lines must be secured and guaranteed by both sides.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for all those insights, and thanks for joining us on WION World is One at this hour.
My thanks.
WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.